Hi guys, welcome to study time. Today we are going to continue with the chapter number 3 project planning of commerce that we have already seen in the first video. Now we will continue with the importance. So now you know what is project planning. Project planning is deciding in advance what you have to do for your business project. Okay, that is project planning. So in the previous thing we have already studied about the concept, introduction and what importance of project planning. Okay, so now we are going to begin with importance of project planning. What are the importance of project planning or why project planning is important? So let's begin. The first thing is achievement of strategic goals. Now every business organization has its own goal. So to accomplish those goals, to achieve those goals, they have to make certain strategies. So while making that strategies, they have to see all the things that are very much important for their business project. Okay, that is their environment, whether it is internal or external, the availability of resources, what are the factors that will be responsible for it. So this all things they have to take into consideration while making the goals or while having the strategic plans, and then it will be easy for them to achieve their goals. Okay, and the next is time management. Okay, so whenever you are making a project planning helps us for you to have proper management. Okay, so your project schedules you, they tells you at what time you have to start and what all things you have to do time wise. Okay, what are the steps, what are the activities that you have to do. So your project planning helps you to complete your project within your scheduled time. Next is minimizing risk or minimization of risk. So your project enables you to minimize your risks. Now you have already planned your project before, you know what all things you have to do in your project. So before only you can take a control over your risk. Okay, you can take particular actions which will minimize your risk. Now you have that selected plan, you have selected plan for your project, that this is how your project is going to be done. But due to something or while implementing, if certain problem occurs, then you already have plan B, so you can shift to plan B. Okay, but for that you have to before plan B. Okay, then only you can immediately switch to plan B, and that will help you to minimize your risk. Next is innovation. Okay, project planning helps you to have creativity. Okay, and it will help to have your innovation. If you have proper creativity, then you can achieve your targets in a creative, in an innovative, in a new way. Okay, and that will help you to achieve your goals and face the challenges in the market. Next is motivation. Project planning helps to motivate the employees. Okay, if you are motivating employees, then they will work properly for your organization and the company will get higher performance in the terms of profit. Okay, if they're motivating their employees, even if they are giving some additional incentives to their employees or increase their pay or higher bonus, then it will help the company or the management, because the employees will work properly, efficiently, effectively, and that will help to increase the performance of the organization. Next is arrangement of resources. Now project planning helps you to make a proper arrangement of resources for various activities that are going to take into consideration. Okay, so project planning indicate you target, and for that particular target how you are going to achieve it. For example, your target is to product 100 units. Okay, you have the resources, so your target is to produce 100 units, then you have various activities, and accordingly to that activities you are going to produce your 100 units. So for that you need the resources. Okay, so this is your plan, that accordingly to the resources you are going to do certain activities, and after those activities you are going to produce those 100 units. Okay, so project planning helps you to have arrangement of resources, and which helps you to achieve your target. Next is government clearance. Now project planning also helps you to prepare your plan. Now you know that you have this project, so there are some work of documentation, you have to make some documentaries, and you have to have some government permissions or government clearance, like your authorization. If government authorizes your project, then you can definitely work on your project. okay, there will be problems or interference into that project. Okay, next is reference guide. Now project planning gives you a clear picture what all things, what are activities you are going to do. Okay, so it is like it helps you or it guides you. Okay, you can use it as a reference that what all actually you have planned. Acha, okay, then you have planned these things. Okay, so it will help you to get a plan or a picture, an idea of your project. Next is investment decision. Now you have already planned your project, so you know what all things you have to do, what are activities are going to be held. So for that things, how much investment you need, how much funds you need, how you are going to raise the funds, what are your operating costs, what are your expected rates that of returns you are going to get. That helps you. Now for investment, who are going to be your promoters to take your investment decisions related to the debts or equity ratio, that everything helps by the planning project. That will help for the investment decision, and that will be done by the project planning. Okay, then next is evaluation. Okay, project evaluation. So how you are evaluating your project, like what all controlling measures you are going to take, how you are going to check your project purpose. Okay, that is your project evaluation. Like if you're checking the project, you're finding what are the deviations, what are the problems, then you're taking corrective measures to repair them. That is your project evaluation. Next is corporate image. That is very much important. Now corporate image, that is your goodwill, reputation in the market. So that is the very much important and the foremost factor of any business, any organization. So if you want your project to be successfully completed, you want your project to be known by everyone. Okay, so and you want higher returns to your firm, then it is important for your business or your organization to have a image to improve the mindset of your stakeholders, like your shareholders, employees, suppliers. Okay, and then it will help the working of your project or your business. Next is benefit to stakeholders. Now for any successful completion of your project, if you want your project to be successful, you need to have to take into consideration your stakeholders. Now, who are the stakeholders? So stakeholders are nothing but the people who are connected with your organization. So they can be employees. Okay, so for employees, you need to take into account that you give them incentives. Okay, you appreciate them on their performance. Okay, so they will be happy. Next is your shareholders. Now shareholders, you have to see that you give them proper returns on their investments. Then next is your government. So you have to see that you pay all the taxes properly. Okay, time to time there is a payment of taxes. And what are the government? So it will help for you to have some subsidies to your project. And next is customers. So you have to see that you fulfill your customer, you provide them proper service, you give them good quality of products. Then suppliers. So you have to see that you take proper care of your suppliers, you tell them how much raw material you want in advance so that they can properly give it to you on time or supply to you on time. Next is society. You have to see that you help the society, like giving employment opportunities or by CSR activities, and also seeing that you don't pollute the environment or there is no problems that are faced by your project to the society. Okay, so these are all the importance of project planning that you have to take into consideration. Now next is project report. This is also something very important. So project report. Now what is a project report? A project report is a written document containing complete information of a proposal project. Okay, so what is a project report? A project report is nothing but it is a document. Okay, a project report is a document which contains information about the project. Okay, it gives you a complete information about the project, that what is the project about. Okay, what all things are going to be done under that project. So this is the project report. A project report is a blueprint guiding the entrepreneur to undertake the project. Okay, so a project report is a blueprint which guides an entrepreneur about the project, that it helps the entrepreneur to know what all things is going to do under that particular project. A project report is prepared by an expert after detailed study and analyzing of the different aspects of the project. So a project report is always prepared by an expert person, okay, after studying the detail and analyzing the different aspects of the project. Means a person whoever is preparing a project, he is expert and he always studies that particular project before making a project report. He analyzes the thing, he see what are the different aspects of that project, what are the different things that are there in the project, and accordingly to that he makes the project report. Okay, next is importance and uses of a project report. Like, what are the importance of project report, okay, why it is important, and what is the use of the project report, where the project report is used. So let's see what are those. Now, importance and uses of project report. The project report is useful to various parties. Now there are different parties which are involved in the project, okay, so the project report is important to these various parties which are involved. The project report is evaluated by various parties, okay, so the project report is evaluated means it is seen, okay, it is checked or it is examined by various parties. Now, who are those various parties by whom the project is evaluated, to whom it is useful? So let's see. So those parties are entrepreneur, promoter, okay, means an entrepreneur who is starting the project, or the promoters of the project, financial agencies and investors, okay, who all financial agencies are involved, or the investors. Next is suppliers of the equipments, okay, the suppliers who are going to supply the equipments of the project or for the project, and government authorities. So it is helpful for all these different parties. Now, how it is useful for those parties, that we are going to see. Now, importance to the entrepreneur, how it provides importance to the entrepreneur. Obtaining loans and advances, okay, so it helps the entrepreneur to get loans and advances. Now, loans and advances can be taken from the bank, financial institutions, so he can clearly analyze the project, okay, what all things we have to do in the project, and accordingly he will decide how much financial amount we are going to need for the business, and accordingly to he will take it, and he will decide from where to take, from the bank, from financial institution, or different agencies or whatever. Okay, next is government clearance. Okay, a project report helps for the entrepreneur to get government clearance. Okay, so he will submit that project report to different authorities, and the authorities will authorize that project, and then he can start doing work for that project. Next is valuability of the project, means how your project sounds, whether your project is clear, whether it has certain problems, okay, or due to that project if anyone is going to face problem, that is the society, okay, or whether there is a risk in starting the business and all, so that all things are being checked. Next is a reference guide, okay, it gives a reference guide, it helps to know what all things are been going to do in the business or that particular project. Okay, it gives you a clear picture about the project, it acts at activities, what all activities are going to take into consideration in that particular project. Okay, so everything is mentioned in the project report. Then controlling, it acts as a controlling device for the project. Now, whatever expenses or whatever assets are going to be there, it acts as a controlling agent, that in report everything is mentioned, what all activities are taken into consideration. So any of the activity is which is not there, okay, but it is taken into consideration, then it will help you to know, okay, by the project report. Next is information. So the project report helps you to get an information about the project, okay, even about the different aspects of the project, like the cost of raising funds, how much funds are being raised, what is the operating cost, okay, then what rate of profit is expected, okay, so it helps for the promoters, for the managers to take decisions accordingly, or for taking investment decisions or different decisions that are needed in that project. Okay, so this is how it is important to an entrepreneur. Now, next is importance to the agency, how it is useful or how it provides importance to the agencies. Now, what are agencies? Banks, financial institution, and investors. These work as an agency for the project planning. Now, for banks and financial institution, it helps them to study about what project or for what project they are going to give loans and advances. So they study, they evaluate the project report, and accordingly to that they sanction the loan and advance. Okay, and after evaluating or studying the project report, they decide that how much amount of loan should be given. Okay, what kind of security should be taken while sanction the loan, then for what period of time the loan should be given. So these all things are taken into consideration by the agencies, by the banks and financial institutions. Next is investors. Okay, now it is also useful for the investors who provide capital to the business. Now mostly we know if we want any business to be run, we need capital. Without capital it is not possible for us to start the project. Okay, so whenever investors are investing their funds into those projects, they need to see whether they are investing in the right project or not. So the project report gives them the idea about that particular project. Now next is importance to the government authorities. Now how a project report will be important to government authorities? First one is subsidies. Now when the government is providing certain subsidies to the project, okay, they have to see what actually the project is working on. Okay, so if the government knows that this particular project is working on these things, then this kind of subsidy should be given to those project, or this kind of subsidy is going to be helpful for the project. Okay, next is tax exemptions and deductions. Now sometimes what happen, government provides some tax exemptions and deductions. Now if there is a project report available, then the government comes to know that what the project is all about. Okay, or what activities are going to be conducted in that project. So suppose the project is for the benefit of the society, okay, or beneficial to the society. For example, suppose it is a trust hospital. Okay, now if it is a trust hospital, then it is a concessional, it provides services at a concessional rate or very low cost. So sometimes it might happen. Okay, and it is not that it actually happens or something is like that. I'm just giving an example that suppose government is not taking tax from them, or they are deducting the tax because that thing is very much important and it is going to be help to the society. So if suppose this kind of things are there, then the government will only come to know with the project report. If there is no project report, how government will know that this particular project is about these things and it is going to help the society? So project report is important. Now if the government is giving exemptions or it is deducting the tax, it is also going to be beneficial for the entrepreneur. Okay, so you have to make the project report. Next is clearance. Okay, if there is a project report and the project report is given to the authorities for checking, and everything is written in the project report, so the authorities know how you plan the project, for what purpose, and then if your purpose is good and the project is absolutely fine, then they will authorize it, and then you can do your project or you can work on your project. So this is how it is important to the government authorities. Next is importance to the suppliers of equipments. Now if your project is there, you will definitely need some equipments, so you have the suppliers who supply you the equipments. Now supply of equipments can be done on two bases, credit or hire purchase. Now some equipments you will take on credit basis, like you will take those equipments and you will tell them that you will pay later, or within that particular time period, within 6 months, 3 months you will pay. Okay, but before you pay, you will take those equipments. That is on the credit basis. Or on the hire purchase basis, like means you will pay in installments, you will pay the supplier in installments, like month wise you will pay. Now suppose you have actually taken the raw material of 50,000, so you have make a contract that you will pay 10,000 each month. Okay, and in 5 months you will clear your payment in installments. So that are the two, you can say, method by which you can take those equipments. Now if you have the project report, okay, then you can give your project report to your supplier. The supplier will read and he will know that okay, you are a person who having this particular project, and he will then believe you, or he will trust you that yes, this is your project, you are doing a project something with, and that is going to benefit you, and accordingly that you will learn, you will make profit, and then you are going to definitely pay me back. So he will also will be agree to give you loans or equipments on credit or higher purchase based. Okay, so that is why it is important for the suppliers of equipments also. So I hope you understood the importance, what is a project report, to whom project report is useful, what are the importance of project report. So please do like, share the video as much as you can, subscribe to my channel, and comment me below. Meet you in the next video as early as possible. Till then, take care. All the best.